Okay, our lesson for today is finding the percentage rate and base of a number. Second quarter, week 3. And for our most essential learning competencies, so the first, find the percentage or rate or percent in a given problem. And for number 2, solves routine and non-routine problems involving finding the percentage, rate, and base using appropriate strategies and tools. Okay, so let us define first the rate, base, and percentage. So the rate, that is the comparison of the percentage to the base, and it is written or expressed in percent sign, and it is represented by the word percent or the sign again. So this is R is equals to P divided by the base. Again, R stands for the rate, P is for the percentage, and B is for the base. Next, we have the base, that is the quantity that represents the whole. And the number is accompanied by the word of. And later, I'll give you example. Next, we have the percentage. So when we say percentage, that is the quantity which is a part of a whole, and it is accompanied by the word is, or P is equals to rate times base. Okay, so this time let us identify which is the P, the R, and the B. So we have 16 is 20% of 80. So let me identify first which is the P, the R, and the B. Okay, so we have the 16, of course, that is our percentage. 20 is the rate, and the 80 is the base. Okay, now let's check if the given is correct. So solve 20% of 80 is what number? So by identifying it, so 20% is the rate, and then the of, meaning times, so that is multiplied by the base, and is equal, and what number, of course, that is the percentage. So applying the formula, so that is R times B equals P. So therefore, that is the percentage is equals to RB. To substitute the value, so that is equals to 20% times 80. And then change 20% to decimal, or it can be written as in fraction form prior to decimal. So that is 20 over 100. So percent meaning hundreds. So that is 0.2. So 0.2 multiplied by 80. So that is equals to 16. Okay, so if you will notice, so 80 is the base, R is the rate, and 16 is the percentage. So the prior example before this is correct. So 16 is the percentage, rate is 20%, base is 80. So we check it by applying the P is equals to RB. Okay, another. So 40 is what percent of 250? So if you will notice that this is accompanied by is, then we have the of. So that is equals to 40 is the percentage, and then we have is equal 20, what percent is the rate, and of meaning times, and 250 is the base. So that is equals to R is equals to P divided by B. So to substitute the value, so we have P is equals to then times 100 to express that into percent. So to substitute, P is equals to 40 divided by 250 times 100. So that is 40 divided by 250, and 40 divided by 250 is 0, and then put in the decimal point. So you can multiply or not, then subtract, but this time you can put the decimal point right away, then add cipher or 0. So that is no longer 40, but instead that is 400, and 400 divided by 250 is equals to 1, and 1 times 250 is 250, then subtract 400 by 250, and the difference is 150, then add 0, bring it down. So this time, how many 250 are there in 1005? So there are 6. And then 6 times 250 is equals to 1,500. And then subtract. So the result now is 0. So you have R is equals to 16 hundredths multiplied by 100%. So your R is equals to 16%. Again, R is equals to P over B times 100%. Okay, next. Let's say you have 20 is 40% of what number? So you have to identify 20 is the P is, of course, that is the equal, 40 is the rate, and of minus times, and what number is the so-called as the base. Okay, so that is equals to, so since the unknown is the base, so that is base is equals to, of course we have to divide P by R. Okay, and then substitute the value. P is 20 and 40, R is equals to 40%. So that is, and now express 40% into decimal. So that is equals to 40 over 100 or 0.4. Okay, so that is 20 divided by 0.4. Now, so let's do the long process of division. So you have 20 divided by 0.4. Okay, so since you cannot divide instantly 20 by the whole number by decimal, of course you have to express the divisor into whole number. So since there is one decimal place, so move it to the right, and then move also the decimal point, so that is imaginary, that's located on the right side of the whole number. Move it once, then add 0. So this time you can now divide. So 200 divided by 4 is equals to 50. And then 50 times 4 is equals to 200. Then subtract 200 minus 200 is 0. So, your base now is equals to 50. Okay? So, this time, let me show you the Tekan's triangle. This will help you to remember the three forms of formula, or the three formulas. We have finding the percentage, finding the rate, and finding the base. So, considering that you have this second formula or triangle, so you have the P. So, P is unknown, so that is equals to R multiplied by the B, not divide. So, P is equals to rate times base. Now, considering that you cover R on the Tekan's formula, so that will become, so the unknown is R. So, what have you noticed about the Tekan's triangle? So, that is R is equals to P divided by the base or the B. Okay, now, this time, let's try to find if B is unknown using the Tekan triangle again. So, of course, you have to multiply that by 100. Okay, so you have, okay, so if the base is unknown, let's cover the B. So, that will become the P divided by the R. So, that is B is equals to percentage divided by R. Okay, so this is the easiest way on how you will get the P, the R, and the B. So, let's have this. Okay, so find the percentage or the P, find the percent of 60. So, that is, of course, you can use that by using decimal. Okay, so you have the 75. So, of means times also, that is 75% times 60 is equals to N. You are looking for the value of N. Okay, so let's express 75 into decimal. Okay, so change. So, that is 75 over 100. So, that is 0.75 times 60 is equals to, okay, instant, naging 45, even you multiply that. So, 0.75 is equals to 60. Okay, so using proportion, so this time, proportion, 75 meaning 100, so that is 75 is equals to 75 over 100, so use that. So, that is 75 over 100 or equals to, you have the N. You are looking for the N over 60. Okay. Once you cross multiply that, if you're going to cross multiply that, that will become 100 N. So, cross multiply N times 100. Again, N is always written on the left side, and then that is 75 times 60. So, 100N is equals to 75 times 60 is equals to 4,500. Now, divide both terms by 100. So, that is equal to 100, the N divided by 100 is equals to 4,500 divided by 100. Cancel 0 and 0. So, what will be left is the 45 and 1. And then for the left side, 100, 100, that is N is equals to 45. So, that's so easy. So, next. So, or P is equals to 45. So, since we are looking for the P, so you can substitute the N as P, or you can use right away the P instead of N. Okay, next you have There are 250 pupils in a school. If 20% of them are boys, how many boy scouts does the school have? Okay, so let's shorten the problem by showing you the given info. R is 20, B is 250, and the unknown is the percentage. Okay, so using the decimal, so that will become 20% times 250 equals n. Again, instead of using the n, you can use the p. So that is equals to, change, that will become 0.2, or 20 over 100 is the 20% or the 0.2. No need to indicate 0 after, so it doesn't have any value. So although that is read as 0.20, but the value of that is still 0.2. Then times 250 equals n. So n is equals to 0.2 times 250 is equals to 50. Why is it 50? Because 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry 1. 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 50. How many decimal places? 1. So that is 50. So that is your P. Now, using ratio and proportion, so since you use 20%, to express that in fraction, that is 20 over 100 equals n is equals to 250, or the P. So cross multiply. So that is P times 100 is equals to 100P. And 20 times 250. So bring the 100P equals 20 times 250 is equals to 5,000. Then divide both terms by 100, or simply cancel the two zeros. So that is equals to, okay, so 100 divided by 100 is P. And then cancel the two zeros, and then 50 divided by 1 is 50. So your P is equals to 50. Okay, so that is 50. Okay, another sample, finding the rate. So you have 45 is what percent of 75. So think of n percent. We are looking for the, since we are looking for the percent, so think n percent of 75. So of means times, so that is equals to n, or the R, and 75 is the P, the B, because followed by of, B, and equal means is, and P is the 45. So therefore we are looking for the R. Okay, so using fraction, so that is n over 100 times 75 equals 45. Now, so n times 75 is 75n over 100 equals 45. And then cross multiply. Because the whole number is, its denominator is understood, that is 1. So 75 times 1 is 75n. And then 100 times 45 is equals to 100 times 45. So 75n is equals to 4,500. Okay, 4,000 is already on the screen. So divide both terms by 75. So that is 75n divided by 75 equals, so 4,000 divided by 75 equals, cancel 75 and 75. So that is n. Okay, long method. So 45 divided by 75 Cannot be. So 450 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry 3. And then 6 times 7 is 42 plus 3 is 45. And then subtract. So that is 0. So bring down the 0 again. Then 0, 0 divided by 75 is 0. So 0 times 75 is 0. Then subtract. So your N or the R is equals to 60%. Next, the percent sign. Dagdag lang percent sign. Okay? So, that's the example of the rate. So, this time that is for the base. So, Mr. Lasso's Math Club, 8 pupils got high score on the test. If this is 20% of the total number of pupils in the class, how many pupils does he have? Okay, so let us identify the solution. Is, of course, we have the R is 20%, P is 8, B is unknown. So, using the Tekans formula, so you have B is equals to P over R. So, or using decimal, so you have 20% of N is equals to, so 20, so change that to decimal, so that is 0.2 times N is equals to 8. So that is 0.2 N equals to 8. And then divide both terms by 2. So that is 2N divided by 2 equals 8 divided by 2. So 2 divided by 2 is N, and then 8 divided by 2 is equals to how many? That is equals to 2 times, since that is decimal, so move it 0.2 ha. So move also, so that is 80. 80 divided by 2 is equals to 4. Divided, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So 4 times 2 is 8. Then subtract. That will become 0 divided by 2 is 0. And then 0 times 2 is 0. So therefore, the base is equals to 40. So the base is equals to 40. And by using proportion, so you have 20 divided by 100 is equals to 8 over N, cross multiply. So that is equals to 20N is equals to 8 times 100, and then 20N is equals to 800. Then divide both terms by 20. So that is 20N divided by 20 is equals to 80 divided by, or 800 divided by 20. So cancel, cancel. So N is equals to 40. Why? Is because if you will cancel 8 and 2 and 0, that will become 80 and 2. So 80 divided by 2 is 40. Okay. So for your activity, so you have find the percentage rate and base of the following. Write your answer on your notebook. So you have, what is 20% of 160? Number 2, not 22, 25% of 96. And then you have number 3, 12 is 4% of what number? And for 80% of what number is 5? And for number 5, what percent of 20 is 15? Okay? So that is to be written on your notebook. Okay, so thank you for watching this video, and do not forget to click subscribe and hit the notification bell. So tulong lang. So any donation that we will be raised will be used for our helpless children. Okay? So maraming salamat po.